the participant on.
Hey, who just joined by the phone?
This is Mike Fricky. I'm going to use my phone in case I have to walk away from my computer for a minute.
Alrighty. Great. Thank you. Alright, who just joined by phone?
Good morning, Kevin Kahn down in Cincinnati.
Alright. Thank you for joining us, Kevin.
Yeah, I tried to go on via computer, but it says we're being hacked and it won't let me through. So I don't know. I tried the WebEx link and it wouldn't go through.
Well, we're happy to have you by phone. You can, if you would like the video component as well, view our live stream on YouTube.
Okay.
And somebody else just joined by phone?
This is Christopher Gill.
All right. Thank you. Record you as present.
Madam Chair, it's 10 a.m.
It is.
It would be unlibertarian to start now.
All right. Here we go. I'm calling the Libertarian Party of Ohio Special Convention to order. First, we will have the Credentials Committee report.
Madam Chair, at present, we have 32 credential delegates on the rolls, 17 of which are present. I can enumerate them specifically, or simply provide you the list. But would you like me to read through? It's only 17 names.
It's only 17 names. Go ahead so everybody knows who's here.
We have present Christopher Gill, Derek Strillo, Donald Kissick, Dustin Nana, Helen Gilson, Jeffrey Zweber, Jennifer Flower, Jessica Pettigrew, Jim Barber, Jim Cavoli, Joseph Lloyd, Kevin Kahn, Michael Fricky, Nathan Rockwell, Patrick Glasgow, Scott Pettigrew, and Tricia Sprankle.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, a majority is 9, 2/3 is 12.
Thank you.
Madam Chair,
Mr. Pettigrew.
just a question. We have somebody on the OLV board asking if he is a delegate. I've instructed them that they should have received an email, but just a question. Is Mike Maines, M-A-I-N-S, a credentialed delegate?
He is not. I saw that as well.
Thank you.
We will move to approval of the agenda. Does everyone have a copy of the agenda?
I have the agenda for the meeting, not for the position. Thank you.
I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Madam President,
Second.
Yes, Mr. Pettigrew.
I was just going to say so moved. It's already been done.
Okay, so moved, and there's a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Anyone opposed? We will move on. The constitutional amendment concerning county organizations. This is an amendment of the LPO Constitution, Article 6. Would you like me to read it, or have you all reviewed it as you were supposed to?
I have reviewed it.
Tricia,
Yes?
Tricia, this is Linda. What are you talking about? What document are you talking about? I caught it mid-sentence.
The amendment of the LPO Constitution, Article 6, regarding local organizations.
Yes.
That is the motion that is currently under consideration.
Madam President, point of personal order, point of personal privilege, excuse me.
Yes, Mr. Pettigrew.
I know that there is a site out there that is available to the delegates to take a look at these. Is there any way that we can pause for a moment and have that introduced to the delegates so that they have some time to go and look at this? I know that they should have done this already, but it would also be helpful to have it on our screens and on the share screen if it's possible.
Is that possible, folks? He's doing it. We're doing that right now. Hang on.
Thank you.
Text of the motion is being displayed on stream, shared WebEx, etc.
You could magnify that just a bit, Jim. I know I'm picky. I'm sorry.
How's that, Mr. Pettigrew?
Jumbled, but it's good for me.
All right.
Just did all of the delegates receive in their emails a link to the convention.lpo.org site?
Yeah.
That link was sent out this morning at 1 a.m. to all of your LPO emails.
Anyone who would like to peruse that directly, delegates, your sign-in information was sent to your LPO email address. The public as well is welcome to explore the content for this convention at convention.lpo.org.
I move to adopt as written.
Second the motion.
The motion's been seconded. We are now open for discussion. Would anyone like to be recognized?
Madam President.
Go ahead, Mr. Pettigrew.
I have an amendment that I would like to propose. Just let me know when it is appropriate to do so, ma'am.
We are now in discussion, so it would be appropriate.
I would like to amend the proposed constitutional amendment by inserting after the word requirements in section 1, sentence 1, the phrase after a comma, unless otherwise required by law. And I will hold debate until it is appropriate, but I would like to speak to it and exercise the privilege as the mover to speak first.
Mr. Pettigrew has moved to amend. Would you like to speak to the amendment?
Thank you. Yes, I would. Article 1 of our Constitution requires that all of the elements within our Constitution and bylaws are in accordance with state, local, and federal laws, and will basically moot any of the elements that are not so in accord. Therefore, this is not a huge change to the amendment. However, and it is actually done by Section 1. However, the LPO Constitution and bylaws also constitute a very important body of institutional knowledge, which from time to time does need to be reminded to ourselves and our future members of the CENTCOM and the Executive Committee. The reason I am doing this is just to make sure that we are not attempting to recognize an affiliate that in the future may run afoul of the laws if they change in the meantime, and it would only come into effect if the laws for our party are more stringent than the ones on the books right now. Right now, we are not subject to the laws with regard to party formation in the ORC, simply because it applies to major parties only. However, should we become a major party, then we would have to redo our constitution in convention unless something like this appears in this bylaw. Otherwise, it would just be moot, and we would have no way to recognize our affiliates, whether or not they were in accordance with the law. Like I say, this does not change any of our requirements. It only comes into effect if the law becomes more strict than our own requirements. And so I hereby move this amendment. I'll just let my voice drop. I move this amendment.
If I may, real quickly, admitting a call-in user.
Okay.
Hello, who just joined us by phone?
This is Christina.
All right, thank you very much.
So you guys want to go to the reptile stores in Columbus? Okay.
Mr. Glasgow is recognized.
First, I have a point of order.
Okay.
Was there a second to the motion?
I did not get a second to the motion.
I'll second.
Strelo will second. Now, Mr. Glasgow.
I would rise to speak against the particular motion. We spent a lot of time in the 2020 convention to try to clear the clutter from the Constitution, and we're once again putting in clutter into the Constitution that is already referred to in Section 1 of the Article 1 of the Constitution that says that our rules have to be compliant with law and that the law takes the priority. So we're just putting extra sentences in to make it more wordy because.
Thank you, Mr. Glasgow. Would anyone else like to be recognized?
Yes, ma'am. Jeff Swaber.
Mr. Sweber, you're recognized.
Yeah. I will also rise to speak against it. Certainly on the point that was made by Mr. Glasgow, and on the content of the matter, and on the general principle of whether or not our First Amendment protected rights of free association trump some arbitrary decisions of Democrats and Republicans who aren't members of this party. I believe our First Amendment protected rights of free association and to organize the way we see fit are much more important than the way some Democrat and Republican gerrymandered whole bunch of folks at the State House think we should run our business. So our decision of how to organize our party rightfully resides with us. And if we choose this way to organize, that's our decision. So for both the practical argument of unnecessary wording and the principled argument of we control our destiny, I urge rejection of this amendment. Thank you.
Did I lose?
Scott,
I'm
I can
still
still
here.
hear you, but it sounds like we lost the main meeting.
Does sound like we've lost the main meeting.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I still have you all, so.
Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Mr. Kissick would like to be recognized.
Very briefly, yes, thank you, Madam Chairman. If this becomes an issue, we can address it at that time, assuming that The General Assembly opts to modify the law that would put us in that position. If they do, we will be notified in advance, or we will have advance notice. This is coming down the pipe, and we can respond at that time in a timely manner. For all the reasons Mr. Glasgow presented.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone else that seeks to be recognized?
I would like to at the end, Madam President.
Can you not see my raised hand? Sorry to jump in, but I've had it up for a minute.
Dustin.
Mr. Nana.
All right, I call all questions.
Thank you, Mr. Nana. The question has been called. All in favor?
Madam President, this is point of parliamentary procedure. Calling the question does not automatically move us to a vote.
No, it does not. I'm voting on the calling of the question. Oh, he's calling the all questions. Oh, okay. I didn't hear the entire thing. Sorry.
And I would like to speak. I would also like to speak to the points that have been raised, just when I'm able to.
Okay.
Once everyone else has spoken, in other words.
So we've rolled the vote. People will be alerted presently. The vote to call all prior questions on the matter of the amendment.
It's on the.
It's on.
Is live. Yeah.
Okay. The vote to.
Was there a second to this?
All questions. Yes, there was a second. Mr. Glasgow seconded. We will hear you. The vote is live, however, to call all questions. Mr. Pettigrew?
If the vote is live, then that would be out of order, would it not?
Where is the vote?
Convention.lpo.org.
Is this in the elections portion? Where is the vote taking place, please?
The vote takes place on the, in this case, amendment, the matter on the floor. There is also a blue banner that appears at the top of your screen whenever there are any votes live.
Be logged in just for everybody's.
Yes.
I've never heard of this call all questions.
Neither have I. This is.
Calling all previous questions is very, very common.
What exactly are we voting on?
Parliamentary procedure. We're calling all previous questions, meaning we go to a vote on the last, on the amendment, and then we're going to go to a vote on the main motion immediately after that with no debate. This passes.
Yes, if this passes.
This is
a vote to call the question. This is not a vote on the motion or the amendment.
I move to separate the question, to divide the.
Out of order.
The first vote. Hold on.
There was no opportunity to make such a motion. This I apologize for my passion here, but this is a move to quash any and all debate regarding this and other amendments. This is highly unusual and is
A move to have the meeting end on the time that it's supposed to. Actually, this has nothing to do with quashing debate. You already had an opportunity to talk. I wouldn't normally respond out of turn, but thanks for accusing me of that.
Okay. There were additional people that have joined the meeting. Mr. Coley?
Yeah, since we last read out the list, we did have Christina Holloway, Jacob Dietz, and the other person we had joined. Linda as well.
What's our total?
20.
The total's 20 now?
Yep, total is presently 20.
Majority is 11, 2/3 is 14.
Madam Chairman, point of personal privilege.
Go ahead.
Did you sign in?
Kevin Kahn, I am trying to locate where I have a username and password to log in so I can vote.
It should be on the email that was sent to you early this morning.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, those are at your LPO email addresses.
So,
How'd you get that?
Cut on your Wi-Fi.
I had it on and I turned it off because it wouldn't connect. It connected.
Mr. Cavoli, do you see that I voted?
I cannot see who has voted. I can see how many have voted.
I have a status of submitted, but it didn't look like it did anything. So.
Oh.
Yeah.
Point of personal privilege. This is Mike Fricky. I have no idea how to vote. I'm missing emails.
Sign into convention.lpo.org using the information which was sent to your LPO email.
Log in, okay.
Yeah.
All right,
You
I'm on
should
it.
receive an email at 1 o'clock this morning that has your username and password for this. It's not your standard password.
Hello, this is Jacob Dietz, and I didn't receive an email.
To your LPO email account. If anyone can't find the email or needs their information sent, reach out to me directly via chat and I will provide you that.
Okay.
Madam Chair, I seek to be recognized. This is Joe Lloyd.
Mr. Lloyd, go ahead.
I'm going to motion to adjourn.
That is out of order at this time.
Is it?
Yes, we are in the middle of a vote.
The motion can be made during a vote, at which time the results of the vote that is ongoing would be made when business resumes.
I think your motion would not be well received.
However, it's being made.
It's Do we have a second?
Yes,
I will second that.
Yeah, but I mean, I just can't remember the website address.
Convention.lpo.org.
All right.
Mr. Lloyd's motion fails for a lack of second.
Madam President, I seconded that motion.
I heard a second.
I also
I'm sorry, we
second.
did not hear that.
I didn't hear that either.
No, we did not hear it.
I was
There,
just
there
going
were
to ask,
many seconds.
I did hear it.
if we were to adjourn, does anyone have any idea as to when we pick this piece of business back up?
We would not.
It dies.
It's a
Yeah,
convention.
Okay.
If you adjourn the convention.
I don't want this piece of business to die.
No,
No.
Well,
Hold on. We have a motion and a second to adjourn. We will have a vote set up for it. We may have to go to a roll call because I don't know if people are having difficulty with their voting.
I that. Let's just roll call.
I'm fine.
I think that was the reason for the motion.
Point of order, are we allowed doing just a voice vote on that?
I think it would
like a standing.
I think it would be very difficult, but to hear and understand
If you did a roll call.
if we did a voice vote. Thank you. Yes, that is what we are discussing now because people are having difficulty with their voting app.
I can call names.
Call names? Okay,
I mean, we're having difficulty voting on the CENTCOM.LPO. We're having difficulty voting with, you're having difficulty even seconds. I mean, the technology is not cooperating with us today, which is another reason why we should consider adjourning.
Out of order debate.
Madam
Okay.
Chair.
Go ahead, Mr. Nana.
Okay, I believe this is a point of personal privilege. I'm going to request that we vote roll call to get this dispensed with.
Okay, let's do it. You ready to call names, Mr. Cavoli? Or
Mr. Glasgow,
Glasgow will
do
do it.
you want to defer that? I can.
Yeah, hang on.
Okay, we are
Sure,
now going to be
participants filtered
voting
by
on the motion to adjourn. Mr. Glasgow will be calling names. Please do not talk over.
Madam Chair, would you like to repeat the motion at hand?
The motion is to adjourn.
Mr. Pettigrew.
Pass.
Do it again.
Chair Sprinkle.
No.
Christina Holloway.
Are you muted? Can you guys hear
She's
us?
muted.
We have,
She's
I can hear you.
she is muted. I've requested she unmute. Beyond that,
Oh, well, I wasn't sure we were
I
muted.
cannot. Yeah.
Don Kissick.
Yay! I figured out how to unmute myself. I'm going to go with yes because I couldn't even figure out how to unmute.
Mr. Faust.
Is he present? He's not present. Filter by
I will vote no. Ms. Gilson.
I will vote no.
James
No.
Barber.
No.
Strelo. Sweeper.
Indicating present.
Ms. Comstock.
No.
Mr. Nana.
No.
Mr. Fricky.
Adjourn.
It's not a
Mr.
vote.
Fricky, yes or no?
Yes.
Mr. Rockwell.
Present.
Mr. Lloyd.
Yes.
Ms. Flower.
No.
Mr. Gill.
No.
Mr. Cavoli.
No.
Mr. Khan.
No.
Mr. Dietz.
No.
That's it.
Was Jessica Pettigrew called? Apologies.
I apologize. Miss Pettigrew.
Yes.
And do I get a second chance for the pass, or was that considered a present?
I'm sorry, I heard yes. Mr. Pettigrew, go ahead.
Well, it is a yes, but I had originally said pass, so thank you.
Numbers.
4, 5. Madam Chair, I have 5 vote yes.
That is what I have as well. The motion does not carry.
Madam Chair,
Fails.
I move to extend time due to all the delays. By 10 minutes.
Well, we're not adjourned, so.
With point of parliamentary, a question regarding parliamentary procedure. The item that we are on does not have a time associated with it. Was it the intent to have the 10 minutes apply to the entire item?
Yes.
That it was the intention.
I would argue that because this item is for amendments only did not list a time that no such extension is necessary, but I will defer to the chair, of course.
Madam Mayor, if I can clarify, I was actually referring to the whole convention because we are 2 minutes away from what should be the CENTCOM meeting.
We are. Can I get the results, before we go to that, another motion, can I get the results to the motion to call all questions, please?
I
One moment.
don't think
Do we have that?
I
15, we have 15 of 20 delegates have voted on that matter.
That's more than 2/3.
What is the result of that?
7 in favor, 8 opposed, 1 abstention. Total of 16 valid votes.
Would fail even with 20 votes.
Fail.
Yeah.
Okay, that would fail to call the questions. We are now moving back to the amendment proposed by Mr. Pettigrew.
So you submitted it all. I think we voted on the
Madam Chair?
Yes, Mr. Pettigrew.
If we do need to extend, I would move that. If the motion's been made, I would second it.
I will consider it seconded. All in favor of extending time for 10 minutes, please indicate by saying aye.
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 All opposed?
No.
one.
No.
No. We're going to continue for 10 minutes. We are now moving to the vote on accepting the proposed amendment by Mr. Pettigrew to.
Madam Chair?
Come on. I want to get to a vote. Can we get to the vote? The motion's been made.
I understand.
We've had discussion. Let's move to the vote. We're doing that now.
Madam Chair, I would challenge the ruling of the chair then, and I hate to do this, but all I want to do is speak to the points that were made. I have about 2 minutes to speak to the points that were made. That's it. And then I'll shut up, I promise.
You think you're changing minds?
I don't know. I don't know.
I also wish to speak in favor of the motion.
But the motion to end debate just failed.
So we are in debate.
We are in debate, and I had asked, and no one was willing to speak. Okay, Mr. Pettigrew, go ahead, make it quick.
Thank you. With regards to the unnecessary wording, I did address this in my original statement. I will repeat it, however. If this is not there, the unless otherwise authorized by, unless otherwise required by law, this would basically give us no way in which we could recognize affiliates, because the entire thing would be moot without this. So it may appear to be superfluous, but I don't feel that it is. With regard to the First Amendment objection, there are laws out there. The proper way to challenge that is in the courts, not necessarily within our founding documents. We do have to remain compliant with the law. With regard to the another time claim that was there, that would require another special or regular convention, and we've seen the pain that it is to go about doing this in the first place. Thank you very much, and I yield.
Who else wanted to be?
Recognize.
Go ahead.
Thank you. I'd like to speak in favor. This is Mr. Rockwell. I'd like to speak in favor of Mr. Pettigrew's amendment. If Article 4 is illegal according to Article 1, Section 1, and Article 1, Section 2, then Article 4 would simply cease to exist according to our Constitution, and the amendment does give a way to recognize county affiliates should Article 1, Sections 1 and 2 validate the current language.
Request for information.
Go ahead, we have a request for information.
I'm just wondering, at what point would we be required by law to change our rules that this would not take effect?
May I answer that?
Mr. Pettigrew, you have a response?
I am not a lawyer. However, my understanding is that the current ORC only refers to rules for major parties. The previous wording of this section did refer to the fact that we were following the rules for major parties. We have removed that, and I have no objection to that.
So what would it take for us to be a major party then?
20%.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know.
Madam Chair, request for information from the submitter of the original language.
Go ahead, Mr. Strelo.
Mr. Glasgow, is it correct or incorrect that this amendment is merely clearing the way for us to set some rules in the bylaws without having to go through convention? So that this would become moot because we actually can set rules without constitutional change going forward?
Well, the purpose of this motion was to remove the major party requirement because we're not a major party. Well, hell, at this point, we're not even a minor party. So
Right.
the point was to remove the stupid requirements we put on ourselves in 2007 so that we could actually grow the party, as opposed to sitting here and arguing like a fucking political club.
Thank you.
Would anyone else like to speak regarding the amendment?
Is anyone in line?
No.
No hands raised? Okay. Okay. Do we want to try the voting again?
Let's
do it.
Okay, we are moving to our vote. The vote will be open.
The amendment.
The amendment, the Pettigrew amendment regarding unless otherwise required by law. Mr. Foley is open. I see it. I'm clicking.
Just want to be clear, no is to remove the change to the motion.
Come on.
Motion to adopt, yeah.
Point of personal privilege. I do not have the ability to vote. When I click the bar, it takes me to an old vote.
Keep scrolling.
Scroll down.
Oh. Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Yes, things do get slightly more complicated when there are multiple votes in a single piece of business, but
That's fine.
yeah, if you scroll down.
To adopt the amendment.
The inception factor.
Mm-hmm.
Point of personal privilege. This is Mike Fricky. I'm scrolling and also not able to vote.
Have you signed in,
It's just
Mr.
a small
Fricky?
bar, so if you were able to vote the first time, you just need to find the little bar under the first vote.
Yep.
You might have scrolled past it, honestly.
Scroll. I voted the first time.
Yep. Scroll down.
Scroll down. Oh, got it. Thank you.
Yep.
Vote better.
Do we have a result? Has everyone voted that wants to vote? Okay, what are the results, please?
1 moment. We have 7 in favor, 9 opposed, a total of 16 votes cast.
The motion does not carry. We're moving now to the amendment, the original amendment to the LPO Constitution, Article 6. We are now open in discussion regarding this original amendment. Who seeks to be recognized?
Call for question.
Madam Chair,
Mr. Pettigrew.
as I've previously stated, I must urge everyone to vote against this now because if we ever do achieve, this is not going to be a while, I get it, but if we ever do achieve major party status, or if the law changes on us, we put ourselves and our affiliates in danger of legal consequences in so doing, because we now have no way to change our recognition of these affiliates. Anyhow, I yield. That's it.
Anyone seek to speak in favor?
I wish to speak in favor, Madam Chair.
Mr. Kissick is recognized.
If this becomes an issue, as I said before, as much as we want to believe the Republicans will come together and ram through something in a day, at some point we will know about this. We can address it in a timely manner. As long as we have 2 weeks to do a special convention such as this, we can do it. And even if they did ram something through, we call special convention, we fix our Constitution and our bylaws, and before they even have us in court, it's rectified. We can do this. We can move mountains when it comes to it. Otherwise, this is going to be very beneficial for smaller counties such as mine to get the ball rolling as we need, because we need affiliates, we need them now. Thank you.
I would like to speak if
Ms. Flower.
I want to speak in favor of this as well, because if we ever want to achieve major party status, we need to grow the affiliates. The fastest way to grow the affiliates is to pass this, get affiliates fully affiliated and established. They will grow the county parties. Then we will achieve the status that we need to achieve to make the changes we need to make in the future.
Ms. Jilson. Okay, Mr. Nana's next.
In order for us to even get minor party status back, we need a petition. And to do that, we need organization at the county level. This is what we need to do right now. And if the concerns that Mr. Pettigrew has put forth materialize, then we certainly can address those at that time. But right now, this is where we need to go. This is the way.
Mr. Nana.
We are over time.
Was that a motion for orders of the day or just
That was I guess it was a request for orders of the day then, yes.
I will second orders of the day. When needed.
Automatically gets called.
Question has been called. Thank you. The vote will be live momentarily. It is now live.
This is the first time I actually saw a voting successful message.
It may just be the
We've got a lot of people here. Okay, I'm just coming in. Can anybody hear me here?
Yes, Mr. Smith, we can hear you.
How's it going, everybody? I had a power outage at about 9:30. The lights didn't just come on until a few minutes ago. What are we doing now? Would anybody catch me up on where we at?
We are still in the special convention. the current vote is amendment number 1.
Did you see this?
It's an amendment to the Constitution, Article 6 of the LPO.
No, because I'm not in the central committee. Because I'm not in the central committee.
How are we doing on our vote?
17 of 21 entered.
Is anyone seeking to vote that has not yet voted?
I want to vote. I'm still going over the amendment.
We can hold for as long as you want.
No, I'm not holding anymore. This vote has been open for over 2 minutes. So, what are the results?
13 in favor, 3 opposed, 1 abstention for 17 votes cast.
That is requiring 2/3, correct?
Mr. Secretary.
It changes 60%.
Well, that just passes.
So that will pass. The amendment to the Constitution, Article 6 has
How many in
passed.
favor?
13.
It was 13.
Yeah, that's the exact number.
Okay. Okay, orders of the day were called.
That would, with the time extension, either put us into the bylaw amendment block or exhaust the agenda. I'm not sure where we're at time-wise.
Madam Chairman?
Order.
We are past our 10 minutes extension.
Can I move to extend another 10?
Second.
Second.
Oh, all right. You just move.
The motion right now is to extend for an additional 15 minutes.
Sure.
Yes.
Extend as necessary.
I'll amend my
Put the
motion to
business
15
on
minutes.
Okay, that is what I heard. Okay, we are extending for 15 minutes. All in favor? Aye.
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 Anyone opposed?
Nay.
No.
Nay.
Motion carries.
I hear you. The motion carries. Moving on to the bylaws amendment. So, bylaw 710 regarding county affiliates.
Madam Chairman?
Would someone who was presenting this care to speak in favor, please?
Madam Chair,
Mr. Glasgow.
the bylaw 710 change just cleans up some language, specifically adding, because a lot of this was like reporting information that was legally required under major party status. It adds as required for all legal reporting that's listed in the bylaws. And just to try to clear things up there. The biggest change here is in section 2, where it's the executive committee shall approve the formation of new affiliates as, and then the 2/3 of the executive committee may choose to disaffiliate at any time. Previously, it was just that the executive committee may choose not to recognize somebody after the fact. So this was just giving the executive committee permission. Hey, not a bunch of terrorists. You can be an affiliate. And that was the only major change. The rest of it's non-substantive and moves most of the requirements to as required.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to speak regarding this amendment?
Madam Chair, I'd like to speak in favor.
I'm shocked if you didn't.
Mr. Pettigrew, go ahead.
I will not make the same motion as I did last time because the room is probably not in favor, so I won't waste our time with that. However, this is a good move. It is the way forward, and it does simplify it. It also gives us the ability, as Mr. Glasgow said, to disaffiliate should something happen that requires such. Completely in favor of this. I would like to see the as required, but whatever, and would urge people to vote for.
Does anyone else like to be heard?
I would like to hear it. My only misgiving is that the executive committee may also disaffiliate. I just feel like something like that should be a central committee decision. I mean, I just almost seems like it's too easy. If you get, a couple of 2/3. I know, but if you get a couple of, pardon my language, assholes on XCOM, we're talking probably several sessions down the road, not this current. But I mean, all it takes is a
Bring
couple
my
of
speaker from off from by what's the name? Bring the charger too.
Oh, okay. All right, and at least if
by my dresser, by my bed.
Yeah.
Oh.
If when it becomes been affiliated, I just seems to be that disaffiliation, when we're talking, if it's effectively forcible disaffiliation, should be a little bit more. Shouldn't be that easy. I'd be more inclined. I would vote yes on it if someone were to enter a motion to make that a subcommittee action instead of executive committee. But I'm not going to force it. Thank you for your time.
Would anyone else like to be heard?
No.
Then we are going to move to a vote on the amendment to the bylaws. Stand by. The vote is live.
Yeah.
Madam Chairman,
Good, Mr. Pettigrew.
I have a technical question which I don't think will interfere with the voting.
Go ahead.
In these votes, are these votes tallied by name when we submit via the tool, or are they anonymized?
Mr. Cavoli, I think they're anonymous, but
the votes are generally going to be attributable. So this is essentially a roll call vote taken electronically.
Thank you. Just for future, and not a criticism. This is the first time we're doing this, but just for the future, it may do us well to make sure that that's known. Not that it would change anything that I've done today, or probably not anybody's, but it is just a good thing to make known prior to the meeting.
I mean,
certainly
noted. It'll be recorded as a yay or nay vote, but
Mr. Glasgow has pointed out that as far as the official minutes, it'll likely just be the up-down decision recorded, but we do have the individual data.
is anyone still trying to vote that has not voted? I'm hearing nothing. We're going to close the vote here, unless I hear somebody screaming.
I think the person you muted might be trying to scream there, Jim.
Oh.
Let's get our attention.
Yep. Okay, hang on.
Mr. Smith? Is that?
One moment. We closed the vote, but yeah. He can unmute himself. I've asked him to now, so.
What are the results of the vote, please?
14 in favor, 1 opposed, 1 abstention, 16 ballots cast.
That is going to pass. Thank you very much.
Exhaust the agenda.
We have now exhausted the agenda.
I move to adjourn. 1 second.
We are now adjourned.
Yeah, adjourned.
Okay.
Set bomb at 11:10.
Yes.
Time to set up.
All right. Thank you. We are now adjourned from the special convention. The central